The second is SAQ, which we're going to discuss, is explain the various approaches and corresponding incision for TMJ surgeries. So first one is pre-auricular approach, as it is labeled as P1 into the diagram. Then the end oral approach, post-auricular approach, submandibular approach, retromandibular approach, rhyridectomy approach, coronal approach, capsular incision, and the intraoral incision. So the pre-auricular approach, it is the gold standard for TMJ. In this, basically a 3 to 4 centimeter incision is given in front of the tragus, and there are various modifications into it. So in the first diagram, the Blair's inverted hockey stick modification. The second diagram which is seen, that is Thomas modification. The third is Digman, and the fourth is Alkayat and Bramley, which is also known as the question mark incision, and that is most commonly used. Now coming to end oral approach, in this the incision is placed on the prominence of the tragus, and that is for cosmetic reasons, and that is a modification to pre-auricular approach. Now the third one is post-auricular approach. In this, incision is placed posterior to the ear, and it involves sectioning of the external auditory meatus. The third one is submandibular approach, as we could see it in the diagram, the first diagram, and that is also known as the Rishton approach. In this, it is mainly indicated for approaching the ramus and the neck of the condyle. In this, the incision is placed 1.5 to 2 centimeter below the lower border of the mandible, so that the damage to the marginal mandibular branch of the facial nerve is avoided. The other approach is retromandibular approach, that is the Hinds approach, that is indicated for surgeries involving the area near the condylar neck, head, and the ramus of the mandible. The next one is rhyridectomy approach, that is a facelift approach. In this, this is mainly preferred because there is minimal facial scar that is seen. The coronal approach, as you could see in the diagram, it could be hemicoronal or a bicoronal, and that is mainly indicated in cases of extensive complicated surgeries. So coming to the last SAQ, that is define subluxation and dislocation of the TMJ, and enumerate the techniques for the management of recurrent dislocation of mandible. So subluxation, it is defined as the displacement of the condyle out of the glenoid fossa and anterosuperior to the articular eminence, which cannot be reduced by the patient. So it is basically the condylar head, it goes out of the glenoid fossa and you cannot reduce it by self, you need an assistant for it. Then the second definition is dislocation. It is the one in which the patient cannot reduce it by himself and requires expert assistance for the reduction. Now the techniques for management of recurrent dislocation, as they have mentioned recurrent dislocation, so we'll be going for the surgical approaches. Otherwise, if they're seen for acute dislocation, then there are various techniques for it, like the Nilotan technique or the Davney technique. So in this, we'll be discussing about the surgical procedure. So in surgical, first one is capsule tightening procedure. The second one is creation of a new muscle balance. The third one is direct restraint of the condyle. Fourth is a removal of the mechanical obstruction. And the last one is creating mechanical obstruction. So that is most commonly preferred. In capsule tightening, you have capsulography, in which actually shorten the capsule. Then there is vertical incision and overlapping of the capsule, which is given, turning downward and suturing a strip of temporalis fascia balance. In second one, that is creation of a new muscle balance, you do the shortening and scarring of the muscle. Then the direct restraint of the condyle, the temporalis fascia is sutured to the capsule. Then there is sling of fascia lata that is threaded through the hole in the zygomatic arch and hole in the condyle and tighten. Then in removal of the mechanical obstruction, you have meniscectomy, condylectomy, and eminectomy. Basically, in eminectomy, the the obstruction, that is the articular eminence, is cut off so that the condylar head could freely move. Then in next procedure, that is creating mechanical obstruction, you have the Linderman technique, in which you actually increase the height of the articular eminence. In Mayer, you increase that height by placing a graft. Then in Daughtry, you do osteotomy of the zygomatic arch and down fracture. And in Findlay technique, you insert a L-shaped pin in the zygomatic process. So, thank you.